Hi everyone, this is Luxthos, and today I want to show you a quick Path of Exile 2 tips and tricks video on how to value items and how to easily sell them on the trading website. So the way that it works, if you're not playing solo self-found, you're going to be able to trade items. So there is an NPC called Alva, which can be found in the endgame, and you're going to be able to trade currencies. So all kinds of currencies. You're going to be able to exchange them. You're going to be able to tell her what you want and what you have to offer. She's going to give you the correct value, and you'll be able to just simply trade. So let's say that I'm looking for Chaos Orb, and I can tell it that I have maybe some Val. It's going to let me know it's a ratio of 1 to 7, and then you can simply select each of these and then place the order. And then it will automatically happen in most cases, depending on the stock available, right? But let's say you find some cool items, right? You found some rares, you found some magic item, and you're not sure what it's worth or if you could get anything out of it, right? Well, there's a little website called pathofexile.com, and then if you go to /trade2, you'll be able to search every item in the game. So you can look for rings. There you go. And you want the rings to have maximum life on them with a minimum value of 100. And you can search, and then you'll see a bunch of rings. Each of those players are listed as if they're online or not. This is something for an entire other video. This whole website is pretty complex. There's a lot of filters and a lot of things, but pretty much the way it works is people will be able to click on this button here. It will automatically message them in game. And the way that it usually works is if you sell an item and somebody whispers you for it, you want to invite them. They will teleport to you if they can. And then you or they open trade. You both place the items, so the currency and the item in the trading window, and then you mouse over each of them, and then you sell the item. So that's pretty straightforward. And if you're looking for an item, you whisper them. If they are available, they will invite you. You teleport to them, and you open the trade, or they will open the trade, and then you proceed to trading items. So it's really straightforward. It's not in-game, but it works really, really well. A lot of the time, you might end up like whispering a lot of people and they don't reply. That happens, okay? But now you're wondering, what can I get, right? What can I get for the items that I found? Because right now I'm not able to get enough Exalted Orb. I'm completely tapped out. I need some help here. But I found all of those cool little items that could maybe have a little bit of value, right? And maybe for somebody that's currently leveling, they're looking for a helm that has, I don't know, maybe a little bit of life and a minion skill, and they're willing to pay something for it. Or +2 minion skill, maybe. Or maybe they're looking for a nice base of shield to start building onto the shield of their dream for their build, right? So obviously most of these items are kind of garbage. It's just to show as an example right here. One thing that I like to do, you're going to need some premium tab, okay, for your stash. So right now there's a sale going on at the time of recording this video. So if you go into the sales, you'll see that all of the stash tab are discounted. If you have the 300 currency right now from purchasing the early access, I highly, highly recommend that you get yourself a ×6 premium stash tab bundle, okay, for 165. And I then recommend that you get the gem and the currency tab. There we go. So 60 and 30. So that's going to be good. You're going to be set. You're going to be able to, it's going to clear up so much space, and it's just going to make it a lot more convenient for you. But for the purpose of this video, you're just going to need at least at least 3 to 4 premium stash. So I highly recommend that you guys get these, especially at this discounted price. If you're watching this and it's no longer on sale, this is still going to be at 200, and it's still very, very cheap and super important to get, especially if you want to get into trading. And things can get complicated. So how much is an item worth, right? Sure, you could go like, look at this and you're like, okay, well, it has life, which is pretty nice, and it has minion skill. Okay, so you can go onto the website, enter these, see what other people are pricing there as. But it takes so long. It's so time consuming. And at the end of the day, you just want to go back to mapping, right? You just want to go spam more map into the end game and try to find more good stuff, try to find more currencies. So one of my trick that I learned in PoE 1, and that works really, really well, still exactly the same in PoE 2, is that you're going to create multiple tabs that are automatically listing these items on the website for you at an exact price. So this is really, really cool. The way that I do this is that I set them up for 1, 2, 5, 10, 20, and then you can even have 50, right? And Path of Exile 2, most people seem to be trading with Exalted Orbs, so I'm usually going for that. And the way that I'm going to do it is I'll simply take my items, and you can do it in in descending or increasing order, right? If you want, you can place an item into the 1 tab, right? And then if you proceed to get 1,000,000 Whisper in the next 5 minutes, you know that you've underpriced the item. So you might want to move it up. You can do it the other way around. So you could place an item into the higher tab. And then if you don't get any Whisper in a couple of hours, you might want to lower it to another tab, right? So let's say that I put the shield in here and then I wait a couple hours of me playing, or maybe even a day of me playing, and then nobody Whispers me. Okay, maybe this is not worth 10, right? So then you can, maybe this is not worth 20. So let's say you had a bunch of item in here. You could move all of them into the 10, and then you repeat the same process. You leave all of those items in here for maybe a day of playing, and then the next day, you know what? You just move them here. Obviously, players cannot Whisper if you're not playing, so you have to count it as like a couple active playing hour. If nobody Whispers you, it's probably because it's overpriced, right? And then you move it on to the next one and the next one. I like to do it reverse a lot of the time, unless I know I got a really, really good item, and that's going to come a little bit with experience. But usually I'll just dump everything into the 1. And then if I get 1,000,000 Whisper, I'll quickly remove it. Yes, it's a little bit, you know, like you're not going to be replying to those 1,000,000 people whispering you, but what are you going to do about it? Like everybody else is doing it, you're going to be doing it too, okay? So you're going to move that item to a higher category, and then you're going to wait a little bit, right? And then if nobody Whispers you, leave it there for a couple of hours and then come back. Obviously, you're not doing this on a micro level. The way you're going to do this is, you know, you're going to grab a bunch of these items that you just came out of the, you just looted from your map, right? And then you're just going to dump them into the 1 price tag, and then you're going to move them to the next one, right? So that's going to be how that works. So I'm going to show you how to create these tabs. So that's probably the most important things. So I have a unused tab right here. We're going to right click. So this is a premium stash, okay? Premium stash tab. We're going to right click it. We're going to go public. And then we're going to go each item individually priced. So you're going to click this. No, actually, sorry. You're going to set exact price on all items. And then you're going to go for Exalted Orb. And then I'm going to create it for 2 because that's the one that I need right now, right? So we're going to go right here. We're going to set it to 2. And then I'm going to move this one right there over here. So we're just going to click, drag, and drop. So you're going to have 1, 2, 5, 10, 20. You can do whatever increments you like. I kind of like this one. I like to have it a little bit more granular in the lower tier. And then I like to have it jump up. You could even have a 50 and a 100, right? Eventually, that might end up happening. You might end up getting a really, really good item. You just have to gauge, right? If, you know, if too many people are whispering you, you might want to move it up. Or if nobody, you move it down. And then you can adjust, right? So if something seems to be a little bit tricky, so if at 5, you're getting 1,000,000 Whisper, and at 10, you're getting none for multiple days, well, this is where you can create a tab that will allow you to set each item individually price. So now you can slide an item in here, right-click on it, and set a unique price. So this is something that I was doing when I didn't have the 2, so now I'm going to put it here, for example. And then this one is priced to 3. So, you know what? It hasn't sold. It's been here for quite a bit. We're going to move it down to 2, okay? If something needs to be priced a little bit more precisely, like maybe 23 or something, you know, like you can, this just gives you a little bit of freedom. So this is a good starting point, 1, 2, 5, 10, 20, and for sell. And then this one, you just price everything individually. So that's how I do it. That's how I do my trading. It allows me to not really think about it. It's not the most precise way of doing it, but it just saves me a lot of time, and it's quite nice. Like, I'll just dump everything in here, and then if I get too many whispers for an item, I'll adjust it, and then I go back to mapping, right? And then if somebody whispers me, get out of my map, sell it, go back, and then I don't have to start searching every single item or maybe, like, feeling like I could be missing out on a good item. Obviously, you can feel free to dump everything in here if you want, but after a while, you'll end up knowing what is good and what isn't, right? Which stats are have a value, plus skills usually have value, high amount of life, high amount of stats, high amount of resistances. Also, the higher item level the item is, the more value it's going to have, right? So this is a level 58 item, doesn't have a lot of value, but somebody leveling might want it for a couple Exalted, maybe 1 or 2, right? If an item is over level 70, 80, those items are going to start having a lot of value because it means that they can roll better stats when you craft them. So like a good magic base item like this can actually sell for a bit. Maybe not this one, but maybe if you got like a good chaos ring with an implicit chaos resistance on it by default, right? And then maybe it has a high roll of life as its first stats. That might be valuable. Maybe a couple Exalted. People could buy that, and they're pretty easy to find. You'll find them pretty much everywhere, especially if it has a high base item level, right? So that's how I do it. Simple little video. Just wanted to share this little trick that I learned back in PoE 1. It applies really, really well here, and it just saves you a lot of time, and you don't have to have a massive understanding of how to price different items, right? So I hope that helps, and I hope you have been enjoying Path of Exile 2. I'll see you in game, my friend. Bye-bye.